Hey everyone, welcome back to AI Fact Fusion. Today's video is gonna be insane. We're talking about the craziest, most mind-blowing facts that'll make you question everything you thought you knew. We're talking about ostriches with eyes bigger than their brains, a turtle that looks like it came straight out of Jurassic Park, and a woman who never laughed. Not even once. Seriously, some of these facts are so wild they'll make your head spin. But before we get started, I need you to do me a huge favor. Smash that like button like you're trying to break the internet, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the crazy content we've got coming your way. Alright, let's do this. Have you ever noticed that people tend to take pictures with their left side of their face showing? There's actually a really cool scientific reason for that. The left side of your face is controlled by the right hemisphere of your brain, which deals with emotions. Think about it. When you see someone smiling, crying, or looking surprised, you usually notice it more on the left side of their face, right? That's because the muscles on that side are more expressive. Even crazy, right? And get this whole left side is more emotional thing isn't just some modern-day discovery. Artists have known about it for centuries. Take the Mona Lisa, for example. Da Vinci painted her with a subtle tilt that emphasizes her left cheek, making her expression even more mysterious and intriguing. So next time you're taking a selfie or posing for a picture, remember to work that left side. You might be surprised at how much more engaging and interesting you look. And speaking of surprising facts. Alright, let's talk about ostriches for a second. These guys are like the clowns of the bird world, right? They're huge, they can't fly, and they stick their heads in the sand. But here's the thing, ostriches are full of surprises. First of all, did you know that they have the biggest eyeballs of any land animal? Seriously, their eyeballs are massive. Those giant peepers give them incredible eyesight, which is super important when you live in the wide-open savanna and need to spot predators from miles away. But here's where it gets really interesting. Ostriches' brains are actually smaller than their eyeballs. I know, right? You'd think an animal that big would need a bigger brain. But apparently, when it comes to survival, sharp senses are more important than brain power. Even with their small brains, ostriches are incredibly fast runners. They can hit speeds of up to 60 miles per hour, which is faster than most cars drive on the highway. So yeah, they might not be the smartest birds in the world, but with those powerful legs and incredible eyesight, they're definitely built for survival. Plus, they lay the biggest eggs in the world, which is pretty awesome. Okay, get ready for this one, because it's a real head-scratcher. Back in the early 1900s, there was this woman named Sober Sue who became a huge sensation in New York City. Sober Sue was famous for one very unusual reason. She never laughed. Ever. Not even a chuckle, a giggle, or a smirk. People called her the girl who never laughed, and her story spread like wildfire. Theater owners were always looking for new and exciting acts to draw in crowds. They offered her a ton of money and even put out a challenge to the public. Anyone who could make Sober Sue laugh would win a huge cash prize. Comedians, clowns, you name it, they all tried their best, but nothing worked. Sober Sue sat there with a straight face no matter what anyone did or said. But here's the truth. Sober Sue actually suffered from facial paralysis, which made it impossible for her to move the muscles in her face, including the ones that control smiling and laughing. It's a sad story, but it's also a reminder that sometimes things aren't always what they seem. Alright guys, we're diving into the wild world of animal oddities. Ever heard of the alligator snapping turtle? It's like something straight out of a prehistoric nightmare. Imagine a turtle with a massive spiky armor that looks like it could deflect a sword. And its jaws, razor-sharp teeth that could snap a bone in half. This thing is basically a dinosaur, and it's real. Native to the southeastern United States, it's one of the largest freshwater turtles. We're talking up to 175 pounds of pure awesomeness. These turtles are masters of disguise. They blend in with their surroundings like underwater ninjas. They wiggle a worm-like appendage on their tongue to attract fish. Unsuspecting fish swim up and BAM! The turtle strikes with lightning speed. Okay guys, let's talk about energy drinks. You know, those sugary, caffeinated beverages that are supposed to give you wings? They're everywhere. And we've all been tempted by their promises of increased energy. But there's one urban legend that's been freaking people out for years, the melting rabbit story. The story goes that if you drop a dead rabbit into a container of a certain popular energy drink, it completely dissolves, and I mean completely bones and all. Now I know what you're thinking, that's messed up. But is it true? Well, like most urban legends, it's been exaggerated. The energy drink does contain citric acid, which is powerful stuff. Citric acid can dissolve bones over time, but it's unlikely it could dissolve an entire rabbit in 40 days. Alright guys, get ready for a story that's equal parts crazy and frustrating. This is one of those cases where you just can't believe it actually happened. Back in 2014, there was this guy named Abdel Salem who got arrested in New York City. The charges were pretty serious: theft and assault. So, Salem ends up in jail, waiting for his day in court. The judge sets his bail at a whopping $25,000. That's a lot of money, right? But here's where things get really crazy. While Salem is stuck behind bars, unable to come up with that kind of cash, the prosecutors are busy reviewing his case. They eventually decide to drop the assault charge, which is great news for Salem, right? With the assault charge gone, the judge lowers Salem's bail to a ridiculously low amount, $2. But here's the kicker: nobody told Salem about the reduced bail. So, he's sitting there in jail, day after day, month after month, completely unaware that he could walk free for the price of a cup of coffee. This went on for 5 months. Finally, someone realized the mistake and Salem was released. Alright, back to the animal kingdom, and this time, we're talking about a creature that's both adorable and ridiculously skilled. Get ready to meet the kangaroo rat, the Bruce Lee of the rodent world. First of all, these little guys are tiny. We're talking like the size of a hamster, but don't let their size fool you. Kangaroo rats are some of the most agile and athletic animals on the planet. They get their name from their incredible jumping abilities. These little guys can leap up to 9 feet in a single bound. That's like 3 times their body length. Imagine if you could jump that far. But here's the thing that makes kangaroo rats truly special: their lightning-fast reflexes. These guys have reaction times that would put even the best athletes to shame. We're talking about being able to react to something in just 38 milliseconds. To put that into perspective, the average human blink takes about 300 milliseconds, and it's a good thing they're so quick because they share their desert homes with some pretty dangerous predators, like rattlesnakes. Chapter 8. The Plastic Car That Flopped. Let's take a trip back to 1941. World War II is raging, and resources are scarce. Henry Ford had a vision: a car made out of soybeans. A car made out of beans? Sounds crazy, right? Ford believed in alternative materials, especially ones that were cheap and plentiful. They created a plastic from soybean fibers. It was lightweight, strong, and renewable. Ford even built a prototype, the soybean car. But it was doomed from the start. World War II funneled resources into the war effort. Chapter 9. The Secret to Winning Arguments. Okay guys, let's be real for a second. Who here loves a good argument? No one? Yeah, me neither. Arguments can be stressful, frustrating, and just plain awkward. But what if I told you there's a secret to winning arguments? And no, it doesn't involve yelling louder than the other person or resorting to childish insults. The key to coming out on top in any debate is surprisingly simple: speak faster. That's right, speed is your friend when it comes to arguing effectively. Now, I don't mean you should start talking so fast that no one can understand you. The goal is to speak at a slightly faster pace than usual, while still maintaining a clear and confident tone. Why does this work? Well, for starters, it makes it harder for the other person to interrupt you. When you're speaking quickly and confidently, they have less time to process what you're saying and come up with a counter-argument. Chapter 10. Misophonia, the Sound Sensitivity Secret. Alright guys, let's talk about something a little different. Have you ever been driven crazy by the sound of someone chewing loudly? Or maybe the sound of someone tapping their pen just sends shivers down your spine. You might think you're just being overly sensitive, but there's actually a name for this: misophonia. It's a real condition, and it affects millions of people around the world. Basically, misophonia is a disorder that causes people to have intense negative reactions to specific sounds. These sounds are usually everyday noises that most people don't even notice, like chewing, sniffing, clicking, or tapping. But for someone with misophonia, these sounds are like nails on a chalkboard. They can trigger a range of physical and emotional responses, from irritation and annoyance to full-blown anger, anxiety, and even panic attacks. It's not just about being annoyed by a sound, it's about having a visceral reaction that you can't control. Imagine feeling your heart race, your palms sweat, and your blood pressure skyrocket just because someone near you is chewing gum. Outro! That's a wrap. And there you have it, guys. 10 of the most mind-blowing, unbelievable, and downright weird facts I could find. I told you you'd be telling your friends about these. From ostriches with eyes bigger than their brains to the secret to winning arguments, we've covered it all. Which fact surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments below. And while you're there, hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on any of the crazy content we've got coming your way. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.